Good. Alright, picture yourself walking through the woods. You're coming across the top of a real nice ridge. You stop for a second, push on your cow call. The next thing you know, this elk just bugles, probably 150 yards away. Then he starts coming right for you. Now when you're sitting there and he's coming at you, do you want to think to yourself, is my arrow going to fly straight? Is my bow going to fly? Is it going to shoot straight? Am I going to make a good shot? I know, those aren't the questions that I want going through my head while this is happening. So in the next couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you guys and explain to you and show how you can make sure that everything is going to work right for your bow. And make sure that your arrow is going to fly straight and guaranteed for a good shot. Here we have different sides of fletchings. Some people, right here, the helical fletching, they'll put it on so it rotates. Sometimes your bow, when it shoots an arrow, will not fly straight with just straight fletchings on it. It depends on how the bow likes to shoot. Every bow is just like shooting a gun with different bullets. It's going to shoot different with everything you put into it. But then some of them, you can put on the straight fletching and it won't fly straight. It'll only fly straight with the helical. So those are kind of like a couple things that you got to work with while you're doing it. And then the rest, there's a couple different screws on the rest. This is what they call a drop away rest. When the bow is drawn back, this cord comes down, pulls it up, so your arrow is perfectly aligned. When this is up and your arrow's in the loop, it's perfectly aligned with the, see, it's the same difference, same distance between. And then when shooting, there's a couple different, say if when you get this lined up, your rest isn't straight, your arrow's kicked off to the side, anything like that, it'll cause for bad arrow flight. You have to make sure when you're shooting, you get everything. What they have is it's a tool you hook onto the top right here. It's like a ruler. It goes straight down. You put your arrow on, you hold this up, and make sure there'll be, we'll say 0.5 inches. It'll be the same distance from here to the arrow, and it'll be the same distance from the ruler here to the arrow. If anything is wrong there, and something isn't right, and it's not the same distance, that's going to cause your arrow to either kick down when it comes out, or it's going to cause your arrow to kick up when it comes out, or if it's not the right windage from side to side, it's going to cause your arrow to kick right to left on the way out. And then another thing here is arrow spine. Every arrow has a different spine on it. Say if you're shooting a 70-pound bow and you're shooting, let's say, a 340 spine, it's not, in my opinion, it's not something that you want to shoot because it's not, the spine is what's inside of the arrow, what holds it together and makes it strong for what your bow, the arrow can take when being shot. So if you have a 70-pound bow and you're shooting a 340 spine arrow, then it's going to cause your arrow in the middle to bend as it's in flight. So instead of your arrow just flying in a straight line, it's going to cause it, you won't see the bend, but what you'll see is the end of the arrow spin in a wide circle. Because the arrow is spinning itself when it comes out of the bow because of the fletchings, that's going to make it kick out at the end and cause the big circle, which is going to make you shoot, it can go anywhere. If the wind is wrong, if the wind's coming this way and your arrow's kicking like that, it could cause it to shoot up here, it could cause it to shoot down and left. There's a lot of different factors when it comes into that. So what you want to make sure is you shoot the right spine for your bow, which would say if you're shooting a 70-pound bow, it's probably going to shoot somewhere around 280, 290 feet per second, which I shoot a 400 spine arrow, or you can shoot a 500 spine arrow, which is a lot sturdier arrow, and it's going to be able to take the kinetic energy that's coming off the string when you shoot, so therefore it's not going to cause the arrow to bend while in flight, so that'll give you more of a sure shot when you fire. And then another is the biggest thing is just sighting in your bow. Whenever you're sighting your bow, you want to step up, 10 feet. When you shoot your first arrow, you don't want to start at like 20 yards or anything. You want to step right up to the target and shoot. And say if you're only hitting an inch to the right at 10 feet, when you drop back to 20 yards, that could be 3 feet to the right. So you want to make sure at 10 feet, the arrow is already hitting dead center, or somewhere pretty much close to center. And then you start moving back, and that'll make sure for a sure shot as well. And now, with everyone knowing all this, you should, next time you have that bull bugling at you and he's coming up over the hill, you should be guaranteed a sure shot and maybe your first kill with a bow and an elk. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go back to the first,